everybody watching this at home or listening to this at home and like looking on LinkedIn, looking on Twitter, looking at Reddit, thinking, oh, I want to do all of that. You know, I'm feeling so far behind and getting this comparisonitis. I think the most important thing to sort of stress to everybody is that no two AIs are the same, right? The way that you use it, Mark, will be different to how I use it, to be how somebody else uses it. And I say it's like raising kids. No two kids are the same. And, you know, you never compare families and how they're set up and stuff. And you shouldn't do it with AI. Just go for it and you'll mold it into what you want your journey to be.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the STR Investing Podcast. I am your co-host, Mark Lumpkin, and we are bringing you back one of the guest favorites. We've had Mark Simpson, the founder of Boostly, right, Mark?
Yeah.
We had him on the pod in I think a year or two ago.
I think it was about a year ago. Yeah, we're talking about all things direct bookings.
All things direct bookings. I think that was our third most downloaded episode. It was super fun, and we're bringing him back because if you don't know, Mark has been a huge advocate for AI in the short-term rental space, how you can leverage it. And what I'll tell you guys, what I'm excited about today is he gives us actionable items, and he's going to talk us through some of the tools and resources that we can actually use versus just saying the word AI, where most of us are like, that's cool, but how do we actually implement this? Him and his team are implementing every day, and they've brought it to people with some really cool services that you can leverage day to day. So Mark, say what's up, man. Tell us what you've been working on.
Thank you very much for having me. Yeah, so I've been sort of really digging into these AI agents since the turn of the year, and I really wanted to get involved with it and most importantly document it, because you're right, so many people now, every podcast, every Facebook post, social media post, LinkedIn post that you see, there's a mention of AI some way, shape or form, and it can get very fluffy or very theory, and there's so many people talking about AI, and there's so many people on YouTube talking about it, but you just from listening to them talk, you realize they don't actually use these tools. They're just getting their team to do it and telling them what to say about it on YouTube videos. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I want to actually document what I'm doing, and I've been doing it for like the last 60 days. And basically what we've discovered and the way I've sort of come to describe this, and I've been talking about this a lot on social media and now on stages when I spoke in London at an event for the short-term summit, is that there's two types of experience with AI. You've got chat, which is like table tennis, like ping pong, right? So ping pong, you hit it, you get a response. You hit it, you get a response. You hit it, you get it back. And that's like what chat is. So chat GPT, you go and ask a question, you get a response. That's like how we all experience AI up until this point. And agents are like playing golf. So you've got the start, you've got the hole, and basically you give a task to an agent, give a task to AI, and it will do everything in its powers to get you to that hole in the short amount of period, and it will do all the tasks for you. So it'll tell you which club to use, it'll tell you what angles and stuff to do it, and it will just go ahead and do it for you. And that's the cool thing about agents, and this is like where we're at right now. And in January, everything changed because so many people have been sort of playing with AI or having a go with an agent, and they've been a bit frustrated because OpenAI, which is ChatGPT, you've got Anthropic, which is Claude, you've got Grok, you've got Gemini. They've all put guardrails on because they don't want to let the Pandora's box, the genie out of the hat, so to speak. And they've sort of kept it back. And then there was this engineer, this entrepreneur in Austria who got bored one weekend, frustrated with like what AI could do for him. And he put together a project. He sort of coded it over the weekend and then he put it on GitHub. And it went mega viral. And that was called OpenClaw. And that was the first sort of signs of, AGI, artificial general intelligence, and what we can potentially get to in that's what the future looks like, And I watched all this happen. People were going out and buying Mac Minis left, right, and center. People were posting about it on social media, and I was just watching. I didn't want to get involved. I just sort of held back, and I interviewed a few people on the podcast. I started up this WhatsApp group called the Geek Out WhatsApp group, and we're all chatting about it. And it was very fascinating. On the 1st of March, I dove in. And I dove in because I just sacked one of my sales guys, one of my SDRs. And I was just frustrated with this human because he didn't do any work. I paid him a lot of money, didn't do any work. And I thought, right, I'm going to dive into the world of AI and I'm going to give this a go. I'm going to do agents and I'm going to talk about it every day on social media. And that was on the 1st of March. And my first win came a week into it. I got OpenClaw going. I put it in a cloud on a server. I didn't get a Mac Mini. And this AI agent had gone into my leads and he'd found a lead that we had spoken to in 2024, not signed up to Boostly. sent the person a very personalized message. I didn't tell him to do this. He did it all by himself. The guy got the email, so he booked a call with our human sales guy, and that closed for $5,000. And within a week, this agent had done more than what I'd paid this SDR a lot of money to do for like 3 or 4 months. And that was me. I was in. I was hooked, and we've gone all in since then. So, fast forward now, middle of May, these agents that have been created have generated over $54,000 in revenue, and we've created some unbelievable tools with them, and now we're sort of giving them to other hosts to use and try, and we've got some amazing case studies now, which is cool.
Dude, that is unbelievable, man. There's so much to unpack there, and I know we don't have an hour to do this, but I want to circle back on a couple things and tell you, you've actually inspired me. I've done the same thing. I haven't had as much success, and you've had a little bit more time doing this, but I've started diving into individual agents for our company. My most successful one has actually just been my executive assistant, who's bought me back a bunch of time, has helped me filter emails, has helped me draft responses, has helped me prioritize my calendar. That's been, and I would have never thought in a million years that I had an extra 3 or 4 hours a day. Like, I thought I was being efficient, but I wasn't. And I realized that I had to have a tool help me do that.
I remember getting your LinkedIn message. You were like, dude, I'm going to get going in it. And I was like, awesome, just go for it. And you were asking, is there any videos or any like YouTube videos or anything like that? I was like, just ask Claude, ask AI. And it, just take screenshots, feed it in, and off you go. And that's literally what I did. Like, I didn't have any help. I saw one YouTube video that I thought was half decent. I copied the transcript into Claude and Manus. So Manus is part of Meta. And I asked Manus to say, hey, I want to build this. What do I do? And it literally I was chatting backwards and forwards, and we sort of hacked this thing together, and we just sort of gone from there. And I think what's really important with what you said is that it's very easy. Everybody watching this at home or listening to this at home and like looking on LinkedIn, looking on Twitter, looking at Reddit, thinking, oh, I want to do all of that. I'm feeling so far behind and getting this comparisonitis. I think the most important thing to sort of stress to everybody is that no two AIs are the same, right? The way that you use it, Mark, will be different to how I use it, to be how somebody else uses it. And I say it's like raising kids. No two kids are the same. And, you never compare families and how they're set up and stuff. And you shouldn't do it with AI. Just go for it, and you'll mold it into what you want your journey to be.
I love that, man. That's a great analysis. The best analysis you could have given. Like kids, no two are going to be the same. No two businesses have the exact same need, but the solution is oftentimes going to be an AI agent, a resource, a tool that can help you. What did you start with? Because I know there's a lot of I've got a few friends in a group, and they're like, I hired 10 AI agents, and they're not doing what I need them to do. They're making mistakes. They're not efficient. And I'm like, well, that's because you just hired 10 brand new employees and you didn't train them. Like, I hired one lady and I spent 30 days with her, hours a day talking and training and teaching. And then I went to move on to the second. So what's your kind of philosophy and approach been over the last 90 days to like, what was first? What was second? How did you prioritize that?
So the first thing, you got to lay the groundwork. You're 100% right. So whatever tool you use, whatever LLM model you're using, you've got to like lay the foundation of what you want it to be. So I always say you got to tell it who you are, what you do, what you sell, what you offer. You got to give it all that context. And, you can type it in, or there's this really cool tool called Whisper Flow that so many people are using, where you can just basically voice dump it into it. But whatever you do, just give it tons of context. The first thing that we properly did was, we've got SOPs for our business. And, I'm very fortunate that I've written a couple of books that I've got on PDF. So I just loaded all of the SOPs, all of the books that I've ever written. I gave it access to my podcast transcripts, and I just fed it everything. So within like 10 minutes, it had already, learned more about business and Boostly than probably I will ever know, So I give it the foundation, give it the SOPs. And then what we started to do was, obviously by giving it access to our CRM and our teamwork tickets, then they can learn what our customers are saying, what they're asking for, and we basically give it as much information as possible, obviously being as protected with guardrails, et cetera, but we give it as much information as context as possible. So like I said, you spend 30 days with a human training them up. Like, I was able to do the equivalent of 30 days in like 30 minutes. And then once we had that foundations, that is when we're ready to go. And a really cool thing that everybody can do, whether they're day one of working with these agents or day 30, every single morning I wake up and I ask for OpenClaw, which is what I use. I say, audit what you did over the last 24 hours. I want you to give me a full business audit. Pretend like you're the best business person ever, and give me a full audit of what we've done over the last 24 hours. And it produces a report. And I just say, learn from it. So every single day it's self-learning, self-improving, and it's making itself better every single day. And I always follow it up with, what are my blind spots? And that's been a phenomenal question. Like, what are my potential blind spots with what I'm doing? So it's given me fantastic advice. It's learning, and it's giving me like help and guidance as well. It's now my AI chief of staff, and I pay $20 a month for it. So it's not a bad go.
It's unbelievable, man. Okay, you've embraced it, but you obviously have a company, right? You have other employees, and you guys are doing stuff all around the world. You guys are the number one people for direct booking websites. So my question is, has your team embraced it? Has that been a non-negotiable? How have you eased them into this AI changing? If you're hiring new people, do they have to be AI forward thinking? Talk me through the human element. And obviously that was easy for you to do. It's your business and you're curious and you're an entrepreneur, but I'm sure there are people thinking, hey man, we might get a lot of pushback from our team. How have you navigated those waters?
They've been amazing. So I sat them down at the start of the year. So even before I got into agents, I sat them down and I said, right, we have to, as a company, as individuals, you have to learn about AI. And there's a lot of people in the Philippines who are probably scared about losing their jobs, because if you look at it, one of the first key things that people may try and remove will be virtual assistants. And I went down the other route. I said, listen, I'm not going to get rid of all of you. You've been with me for years. I want to make sure that every single one of you is on point with this and up to date with everything. And I want for us to embrace it, because I've seen the benefit of what it's doing. And so every week on a Monday, we meet for an hour and we learn AI. I give them homework to do, and then we come together and we report back as a company. And it started as something simple like, okay, log into the account, and I gave everybody a pro plan as well, whether it's on Chat or Claude or Perplexity. And it was just like, right, log in, like, let's do this, do that. And we've slowly got better to the point now, the homework that they're doing right now is that they're building out their own agents and they're building out their own tools this week. This is really cool. And so the progression has been insane, and everybody has come on board with it, and they've all had their mini aha moments, their own like mini matrix moments. Like mine was the one where we made that money, but for so many other people it could be just something simple, like you said, like your executive assistant. They've saved them a few hours in the day, because there was a lot of tasks that we were doing that was so manual, and they're already getting that back. And the finance team have created really cool Stripe dispute tools that has helped them win disputes, which has been epic. And somebody on our API team has built this extension tool that will spot API breakages before they even happen, which is insane. So customer support has improved. Like our customer satisfaction is like through the roof. Our Trustpilot scores are better than they've ever been, because customers are getting help with quicker, faster, and it's been more reliable. And every single one of our team has embraced it. And the Connect tool that we're going to talk about, the thing that we've built, I started building it 2 years ago as a company. We had a version ready a year ago, but I pumped the brakes, and I'm so glad that we did. Because if I'd have released it last year, you only get one good chance to make a good impression. If I'd have released it last year, it would have been, like it would have gone down like a fart in a lift, right? I'm so glad that we held on, because since the turn of the year, we've been able to tap into the tools that we now have, and Connect is like 100 times better. And the rate that we're able to like iterate and make it better because of the tools that we have with Claude, etc., is phenomenal. So yeah, the whole team have built into it.
That's awesome. That's great to know that your team embraced it and really dove into it. I would say that we're thinking about it like we're cyborg humans, like almost like, hey, we're not going to fire you because we've used AI. We're going to make you more efficient. So like our social media team we met with this morning, and they were able to do one post a day on all these different channels. There's 20 different channels, and it took them a day. And it was like, I want to do 3 posts a day now. And now AI is going to help you leverage that. We're automating our thumbnails. We're taking transcripts and turning them into blogs. We're doing all kinds of really cool stuff. And guys, there's no shortage of work for people that are willing to embrace it. It's actually going to make you more efficient, make us more profitable, and then you're going to partake in that. And so I think it's a win-win for companies and for employees. I think the only real losers are the ones that fight it and don't embrace it and say, nah, I'm not going to do that. It's like, okay, well, we're in the same race. And I just found a dirt bike, and I'm going to ride this thing to the finish line, and you can keep walking, but I'm going to get there way quicker than you, and I'm not going to be tired when I get there. That's the other thing, is the buyback of your time. You got 4 kids, man. I got 2 kids. How great is it to be able to say, I got a lot done today, and I'm calling it a day, and we're going to the park, or we're going to play football or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 110%. Yeah, I mean, there's always been like three reasons why people couldn't hit their goals. Like whenever we talk about getting more direct bookings or, running a business, getting like more income or whatever, they always come back to me and say, listen, Mark, I haven't got the time. So I haven't got the time to send that email, to do 3 posts a day. I haven't got the time to go and build out a direct booking site. Or I haven't got the money. Listen, I'm scrappy. I haven't got the money to be able to do this, or I haven't got the knowledge. All these three things are eradicated with agents because time takes you no time at all to do this. These robots will work 24/7 for you and they never complain. Money, $20 a month. If you want to go like baller and go $200, still that's more cheaper than hiring a subpar virtual team member. And then knowledge, it just goes out the window because if you just have to copy and paste, you copy and paste and ask. And the only thing that stops you now from achieving your goals, whatever your goals are, is your imagination. Like this is the mad thing right now, is that you can literally do whatever you want. That folder that sits on your Apple phone notes of like, this is the things that I would like to do one day. We're just cracking on with that. And, it's super addictive. It's you can go down the rabbit hole and you may never come out, but it's a ton of fun. And I liken it to playing video games. I'm a big gamer. When I growing up, before kids, I used to play video games a lot, and I loved video games. And this is like the modern day video game, but it's brilliant because you've got the massive upsell that you can actually make money from playing these video games, which is pretty cool.
That's so cool, man. And I love how you brought up. So really what we're saying is there used to be objections. There used to be reasons why people couldn't do things. Now there's not. And you brought up whisper flow at the beginning of this. I use it religiously. You don't even have to type anymore. You can just hit a button and talk. And what's incredible for me, that's been a game changer because I can't stand typing. And you have so many emails back and forth with clients. And so to be able to get up and walk around, get the blood flowing, talk to your agent, and get a result is pretty amazing. So let's talk about Connect.
So before we do that, I've got something cool to show you. So like I said, I use OpenClaw and I chat to OpenClaw with Telegram on my phone. I sent it a voice note the other day and it said, hey, I can't understand voice notes. Let me go and download the skill. So it downloaded a skill so it can understand voice notes. And then I said, well, I want for you to talk back to me. And it goes, well, hey, I don't talk back, but let me go download a skill. So it learned a skill by itself. And so I asked it earlier, like, what have we created? And I pinned the message because I wanted to play it because I knew we were speaking tonight. So it came back to me with this. So I basically asked the question, what do you do? Right? I'm speaking to Mark later. Tell me everything that we've created. And it came back with this.
3 things to confirm. First, Persephone. Previous instruction.
Can you hear that?
She's not in the scheduler. She's not running. The offboarding exit emails, win-back sequences.
So it literally now talks to me like that. And obviously that's a pretty quick, but it literally talks to me backwards and forth now. So I'm like sort of talking to a person, and it basically listed off everything that we have done, all the sub-agents that it has created. My Icarus is my chief of staff. It's a Greek god myth. And I've got Hermes, I've got Daedalus, I've got all these people now that are working for us, like say 24/7 running on automation, which is pretty cool.
It's so cool, man. So you went through it. So I love that you started with a pretty basic YouTube video and you just learned it yourself. You built the agents. I'm sure they made mistakes. I'm sure you had to correct them. I'm sure there was plenty of times where you're like scratching your head going, is this really worth it? Maybe I should just hire another human to do this. But you went through it, you learned it, you inspired a lot of people to do it, and you guys in the process had perfected a product that you had thought about years before, which is Connect. And so tell us all about Connect. Let's learn about this. Because this is what's come out of what you've learned with AI.
Yeah, 100%. So boostlyconnect.com, it's free. Everybody can go and get started on there. It's free up to 11 listings. So basically you go in and you connect your PMS. So for years, your data is sort of like held and withheld on your PMS. And what's come out of all of this with agents is that it's so powerful when you have data, but it's sort of stuck on your PMS. So the first thing that what we have done at Boostly for the last 10 years is that we've gone and helped hosts build direct booking websites. And one of the reasons why our websites work is that we can get the listings off your PMS onto your WordPress website through the API integrations that we've built. So we've already got 27 integrations into some of the best PMSs that are out there. And so we've got that data. And I was like, well, everything that we've been doing up to this point has just been going into a WordPress plugin. And I want to make it go further. I don't want to be just like known as the WordPress guys. So we took the WordPress plugin and we put it onto our own dashboard. And now this sits totally separate to WordPress. And what you can do is when you log in, you go to connections and you go to PMS connections, and you'll see the PMS that you're with, and you hit the connect button and you just sync in to your PMS, like Guesty, Hostaway, whoever you're with. And it syncs straight in your listings, your data into this dashboard. From there, you get the choice. It's like you pick your journey on where you go. If you want to send it to WordPress and build out a mini WordPress website and just sync all your data in there to improve your conversion rate, fantastic. If you want to send it to Go High Level, say that you're using the CRM Go High Level and you want to create email marketing campaigns, but your data is stuck on your PMS, you sync it all and it goes straight into there, so you can send email automations, broadcast emails, SMSs. You can create AI agents within Go High Level. You can go do that. The funky bit is when you start connecting it up to Claude or ChatGPT or wherever, because when you can start connecting your PMS via Connect to Claude, then what you can do with it is pretty phenomenal. And we've seen some cool use cases of people building out their own tools, their own digital guidebooks, but also as well, I was speaking with a chap who uses Hospitable, and he went into it and he basically used Claude to go to Hospitable and say, hey, I've got tons of availability this year for whatever reason, right? And I want to fill some rooms because I want to make some money. I want for you to go and send messages to anybody who stayed with me in 2025, who has stayed at that property, but hasn't yet booked. And because AI had all the data, it was able to go in and create, just like I did with that host who spoke to us in 2024, it's the same thing with a guest. It was able to send it a really bespoke custom email that looked like the owner had sent it. And because it was like a push message, because it was proactive, the guest saw it, and because it was personal, a lot of them booked. And he was able to generate $6,000-$7,000 in revenue in such a short space of time. And it didn't cost him any money, didn't take him any time to do it, and he didn't need any knowledge to do it as well, because he didn't have to need to learn copy or copywriting. He was just able to ask, his agents. And that's the power of Connect when it's done properly. Like you say, we've been doing this. We've launched it a couple of weeks ago. My goal before the end of May was to get to 1,000 users. We're currently at the point of filming 970 people in, which is awesome. And you can literally get started for free. So it's free for up to the first 10 listings, free forever. You can do what you want with it. And then when you're ready to grow your business, we'll grow with you. So it's just $29 a month, from 10 to 100. From 100 to 1,000 is $97 a month. And, you can just go from there.
Dude, that's unbelievable, man. I feel like, I want to dive into the use case, but I feel like you have been sitting on a boat rowing against the current for years and years and years, saying direct bookings are the way to go. Control your customer base. Don't give away all your money to the OTAs, blah, 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 blah. And you've been fighting this literally up current battle where you're just sitting there rowing. And it's almost like the AI revolution has basically taken the oar out of your hand, put a 250 horsepower Yamaha motor behind you, and then the current flipped on you. So you weren't going against it anymore. Now it's at your back. It's almost like added like rocket fuel to what you've already been speaking about, right? Because in the past, people knew that their database was goldmine. They knew that their previous guests were goldmine. They knew that that was a great tool that they should be leveraging, but they weren't doing it. And this basically just takes away all the excuses. Now there's no more excuses, guys. Connect just connects and makes it happen.
No, you're 100% right. And we just wanted to provide that database, that tool base, that dashboard where you can connect it into here. And then from there, you pick your journey. You can, we're about to add in Wix. We're about to add in Squarespace. As much as I personally don't like those platforms, I think WordPress is good and is better. And we will continue building websites on WordPress. I know that people like to use these other tools, and we will connect into all of them. And we're in the process now of creating our own app on ChatGPT, which will be great. So we can, as Booking.com have got an app on ChatGPT. I'm like, well, why can't we have a direct booking app? So we're going to be sending tons of data to there. So then guests will be able to find your properties, the ones that are connected on Connect, before any of the OTAs. And you're right. I feel like now we've got a phenomenal chance as an industry to not just have to rely on free big OTAs for our bookings. We can now really come together as a community, as an organization, and as a worldwide like host, and sort of start to go, well, I can do this. And the beauty is that you don't have to learn to do it. You just have to connect into an LLM of your choice, and off you go.
Dude, that's so cool. What is the capability of Connect for outbound stuff? So I know that, can you walk me through the technical features of it? Not all the details, but basically we connect it to our PMS. It has access to all that client data. It has emails, phone numbers, past reservations, when they stayed. I'm thinking of like a guest that we have that comes to our house every spring break. And like, I know their booking window. And if we miss their booking window, we sending them a message that said, hey, John and Susie, you stayed with us the last 3 spring breaks. You still plan on coming this year for spring break? Like, that would be so valuable for that outbound reach. Will Connect do that? Or what's the technical process of how it takes that data and then makes it usable or does stuff with it?
Yeah, 100%, because it is connecting, like I say, to the PMS via Connect. You can, like that example that I gave, that example was the same as what you're just talking about there. The guy went onto Claude and he just said, hey, I've got some availability in my calendar, and you can either home in on, hey, John and Susie haven't booked for a while. Go and send them a message, right? You can literally do it like that, or you can go, right, I need for you to go through all of my reservations from 2025. I want for you to match them up with the properties that they stayed in. Go look at the availability and create a FOMO heavy message to say, there's availability, but they're going to go fast, right? And you can give them a little juicy discount if you want to do that, or whatever you can do, and it will send that outreach message for you, whether it is via your PMS or whether you use it via Go High Level, which is obviously a CRM. So CRM is where you can do email marketing, automation, social media posts, SMS, you name it, you can do it. Wherever you want it to send it through, you can connect it up to Claude via Connect, and it will do what you want. I think the way people have got to start to realize this is, right at the very start, I said chat is ping pong, agents is like golf. Everybody still has that mindset of chat. I feel now that we need to start looking at it like an agent, and you got to look at it like playing golf. And I feel like if you can start to vision and being a chief of staff, like your AI chief of staff, somebody that helps run your business for you, gives you the business overviews, and actually gets in and does the work for you, so you don't have to, so you can focus on other things. I feel like that's the mindset, and that's where we all need to get to.
I love it, man. And you're the one leading the charge. So, Mark, we're going to drop the link so people can sign up. It's free for the first 10 users. It's a no-brainer, guys. Many of our listeners are individual investors that might have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 properties. And a lot of them are busy working W-2 professionals. And so this is a no-brainer to help you automate that, help you start to control your business. It gives you the ability to control that book of business and reach out to people and run campaigns that you could not have done without spending a lot of time and doing a lot of manual work in the past. So where else can people connect with you, Mark? I'm happy to drop all your links of Instagram, Facebook.
Come on over on LinkedIn, Mark Simpson on LinkedIn. I'll give you the link for it. And then on Instagram, if you prefer Instagram, it's Boostly UK. We're doing lots of cool things there, and you'll be able to see the documentation. You'll be able to go back, because I've just dropped the day 60 video of doing this and the things that I've learned and where I've gone wrong. And yeah, one of the cool things that we've just launched within Connect is people come to me and go, right, Mark, I know I need to build an agent, but can you just help? And for the first time ever, we've gone, right, let's just create it. So I've created 21 agents that I know that's worked from speaking to other hosts, and it's based on everything from operations to sales to guest concierge, etc. So we've created 21 agents for free. We've put it in a GitHub. So basically GitHub is where you home these things, and then you can go and download it, and you can just basically drop that straight into your LLM of choice, Claude, etc., and it'll be ready to go. So it's all in Connect. It's all in free. boostlyconnect.com. Go and register an account, drop it in, and go have fun.
I love it. Thanks for coming on, Mark. Like always, dude, you're doing cool, fun stuff that is meaningful and measurable and makes a difference in our business every day. And I appreciate the inspiration you've given me. Thanks for coming on, sharing some of these details with our listeners, and I'll be sure to send as many people your way as I can. Thanks,
Appreciate
Mark.
it, my man. Take care.
All right, guys. Appreciate you tuning into the STR Investing Podcast. We will catch you next Monday for another Monday Market Data Report, and next Friday for another guest speaker.